get some for us.
So this is not virtual, Poonam. Okay, sorry. I think we are live, Damini,
We're
no?
live now, yes.
So women in chatter, that will always go on. So
True.
no formal announcement. But we at Sipping Thoughts, we always pick movies very very carefully, which connects to our heart, which has a meaning. So we have done Thappad, we have done Bulbul. So picking this movie had always been like in our list that we must discuss this movie. And I think it just got released, I think 2 weeks back or so.
That's right.
Yeah. And I had been waiting for that movie. And when I got to know that that was releasing in PVR and you couldn't go to watch, I was very sad. And then you know that okay, it has come on Amazon, so it was a good news for all of us. So I watched it, and we many of us watched it who are here. And as we all know or don't know, but the movie traveled through a lot of international film festivals, receiving amazing reviews and awards. It has been among 344 feature film in the running for a nomination in the best category of 2020 Oscars. So a proud moment for India. And so today we have Poonam Kaul here. She is the producer of The Last Color. It's her first debut. And welcome Poonam here with us. So let's take it from there and welcome everybody. And hello, Poonam.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me over.
So, can we see everybody? I don't know whether the window is open. Hi, everybody. I can see Preeti, I can see Neeta, Siddharth, uh, everybody. So, where do we start from? Sukirti, you want to start? What did you feel?
Yeah, no,
About the
actually, when
movie?
I watched the movie, would say enjoyed is not the right word. It was quite disturbing. I think I was hooked throughout it, but there were so many social ills. So we see both sides. We see women supporting women, and we see women that are not so supportive of women, and a society that does support the underprivileged, and a society that does not support. So it was a harsh reality in addition to the life of widows. So first, I was just expecting it to be about widows, and I didn't expect so many emotions. And it was the brutality that hit me, and especially that Raja Beta syndrome. I think that how difficult it is. So, I mean, of course, it's set in this picturesque setting, I mean, in one of our most sacred places. But here, the clutter, the detox, what we need is in the mind. So I love Choti, I love Neena, I love Rudrani. I can definitely understand why it's winning so many awards. If I have one criticism, and Poonam will kill me, is there were too many storylines. So it was hard to kind of say, because you get attached to a character and you want to go deeper into them. And so I personally got very attached to Choti, and I am waiting for the sequel because I need to know now how she became from Choti to where she went. So that was my take. I loved it. I mean, a lot of emotions that came through in the movie.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So with me, I have seen ashrams in Haridwar. A lot of widow ashrams I had seen in Haridwar and Mathura, especially Vrindavan. I've seen a lot of ashrams, and you see the women's sitting on the road and not in that kind of a condition, also in a worse condition.
Yeah.
So I really felt that which kind of a world we live in, we can criticize the movie, we can talk about it, but actually, do we ever bother about them? So for me, the best thing that came from the movie that it made us think कि अच्छा एक पैरल लाइफ वहाँ भी चल रही है, एक कहीं पे छोटी भी है, एक कहीं पे ट्रांसजेंडर भी है, एक कहीं पे एक विडो आश्रम भी है. So जहाँ लोगों ने ये बोला कि इतने सारे इश्यूज को टच किया, देयर आई फील कि ओ माय गॉड, इन सच अ शॉर्ट मूवी every issue is been kind of touched and brought to us, that ये भी हो रहा है, ये भी हो रहा है, ये भी हो रहा है. And it never looked to me as if it is forced in the movie. It was running a parallel story, like so many stories in one story.
Yes.
Koti
Yes.
obviously is beautiful. I don't know how that character has been designed, directed, acted, but Neena, I don't have any words. She's a very, very established senior actor. She can do justice to any role. But
Absolutely.
Choti, I felt, ki, oh my God, just a gem out of where I don't know.
Phenomenal.
So,
She's phenomenal. Yes.
Poonam, how did we find her?
So, it's interesting how we started this film actually. Vikas has written the story many, many years ago. This was before the ruling came out for allowing widows to play with color. So it started right, like really then. But we finally decided to, like I said, make the film. We initially went to, I'll actually use this question to answer, give you a little bit of a background. How much of a rookie we were, because we were initially thinking we'll get a director on board, and we met a couple of directors. We'll get a production house on board. So we met a couple of production houses. And then, one of the directors that we met, and she said very clearly to Vikas, she said, "You're so involved in the story. You're so much inside, that you will have a challenge having someone else direct the film. So why don't you do it yourself?" And that hadn't come to us, initially. That had not, the thought was not there. We thought, Vikas is obviously the backbone of the film, but the moment she said that, I remember having this meeting with the director, very leading director in Meridian in Delhi. And I came out of the meeting and I said, "Vikas, ye hum bana rahe, khud bana rahe." And this is exactly how this happened. Hum khud bana rahe. Kaise karenge? Khud karenge. I mean, it's literally been that. I remember when he called me for music, the background music score that you have, that is kids in a school in Chadra who have done it.
Oh my God.
And this was January. That was actually the first time I realized hum film bana rahe hain. Hum actually bana rahe hain. I was doing my regular role as I was heading communications and corporate marketing at PepsiCo at that time. And so this was, and PepsiCo allows you to do a lot of these, follow your passion. So, in that context, that's how it all started. And Choti, honestly, we did a lot of auditions, and, we met a lot of kids. And what we realized was we weren't getting Choti. We just weren't getting Choti. Vikas went to Banaras as well to look for Choti. And he had an image of Choti in his mind because he had met a girl, exactly she was a rope walker, and he had met her in Banaras when he was writing his book Utsav, which is on festivals, which is actually where it all started. He had gone to the ashram that time, and that's where he was very, very shaken. So we looked around, nahi mil rahi thi, and whenever we would do the auditions, it's with the advent of cinema, TV, and all the web series, there is, parents were setting, the kids were all dressed up to be like hard expressions, tough expressions, nahi, like that, and they were all made up, and Vikas was just, it was just crazy because he was not, and he was flying in and out of New York at that time to fix, acha ab ye karna hai, ab ye wala karna hai. And finally we landed up in some, I don't even remember the conversation, we landed up in a school in North Delhi. And Vikas just met the kids there. The school was open to doing theater for the kids, and he met the kids there. And this Choti was sitting at the back, and she said, "Haan, bada master chef aaya hai. Khane ke liye to kuch laya nahi hai." He was like, "She's the one I want. She's the one I want." This is exactly what she said. And she's like, the way she does that in the film as well, that's really her. She said, "Haan, bada master chef aaya hai. खाने के लिए तो कुछ भी नहीं लाया." तो and that's it. That's how Choti was found. She studies in a school, it's called Zinat Mahal in she's never faced camera before.
My God.
And actually a lot of characters in this film haven't faced camera before. Chintu, again, never faced the camera. Chintu had a 2-second role in the film, and this low role became longer only because of the character we got. I mean, he was just awesome. And I think that's what helped us, because we were not walking into the film with blinkers ki ye aise hi karna hai. I think that's what helped us. And therefore, if you see the comment that we had about Sukriti's comment about various stories happening in parallel, it's very we had a lot of those. Yeah, but that's how we were looking at the film. That's how the film has been, the book has been written. If you read the book, that's how the book has been written. So we were actually following the script to an extent, but not really being, held on to it, And what we ensured was, because we showed the film to a couple of our friends who were in the industry to see how it's shaping up. I think what we tried to do is get closure for everyone in the film.
Yeah,
when you see Raja's wife with 2 daughters at the end, even
right.
She has closure.
There I will bring Tina, because we were discussing today morning, and Tina, she found that is, I want Tina to speak about.
Sure.
Tina, you want to speak up?
Yeah, so can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, Tina. Why don't you switch on the camera?
Sorry,
Okay.
can I just get my notepad because I really want to make notes on this. Will you give me
Yeah,
exactly
please do,
30
please.
seconds?
So Meeta,
Mm.
we are on the same page. We're going to talk about Choti being in prison, right?
You said that was the best scene when morning. What will we be discussing about Choti? No, the guy with two the wife
The,
with two daughters.
the Raja Beta.
So she
Why
said,
he doesn't want to go
why
in the
didn't I want to
Why I didn't touch the water?
water.
Okay.
I'm back. Hi, Tina.
Okay. Hi. Hi. How are you?
And don't
Very
worry,
good.
Poonam, we'll send you the recording. It's going
Oh,
live
lovely.
everywhere.
Okay,
So you
because
will have every comment with you.
okay, I want to share because some of these things are always very, very helpful for us to start also thinking. Like I said, we're rookies, we're newbies in this whole thing. So, yeah.
But the movie was brilliant, Poonam. Kudos to you. I was riveted by it completely.
Thank you.
And I was just discussing with Meeta in the morning that my absolute favorite, of course, the entire movie is a treat to watch. But the absolute favorite scene in the movie was this scene where this lady who's the cop's wife, the Raja's wife, and she tells him that the reason why I did not touch the water was मेरे को एक लड़का नहीं चाहिए था जो तुम्हारे जैसा बने, you know. So that was absolutely fantastic, you know.
Thank you. Yes, that was. And that scene where she comes out from the well.
Yes.
Where there are those diyas. It was.
I mean,
it was just.
all the,
It
there
was
are
really
so
cool.
many scenes in the movie, in fact.
Yes, and this is actually this scene was done like literally we were chased out of there. We weren't allowed to shoot, and these cops came in and they said, "Ye kya ho raha hai yahan pe?" You know, so there are some parts of Banaras that are like that. You know, so they came in and they said, "Ye kya ho raha hai yahan pe?" And obviously they wanted bribe and all. And again, having Vikas there, usko bribe usko samajh nahi aata. Thankfully, he's like, "Why? मैं क्यों दूंगा? क्यों देंगे? ये हमारा." And then we've literally done the whole lighting ourselves because they came in, Sara kharab kar diya, they went away. We said, we are not moving out of here. You tell me who you. Then we reached out to some senior folks in the bureaucracy who helped. But the scene had to be shot. And, we literally, like Vikas was literally himself, his mom, all of us were lighting the diyas so that the scene can be shot. So I have so many memories of the film and how we did it. So
Fantastic.
Kudos, because there's so many stairways, so many places that you have taken us to while she's climbing. So I mean, some of it was very breathtaking, like some of the scenery that you've shown.
Yeah, I think, without being prejudiced about it, but I think, and this is what I say to everyone. I mean, we have, there's lots of things that we, can do better in the film. There's always scope for to improve.
Right.
But what I really think, the way Banaras has been shot, I don't think Banaras, you would have seen such a beautiful Banaras ever. The way Ganga, she used to really, when I used to hear people say Ganga nachti hai, I actually couldn't believe it till I actually went there. And Ganga, the way the colors change, and we've been able to capture some of that. I mean, I think sometimes, the lighting, how that scene where Neena ji is doing the dance on the chat with Choti, where she does that, Holi wala dance.
Bharatanatyam. Yeah.
She landed up for the shoot. The rest of the crew was not there क्योंकि सुबह 4 बजे था. And Vikas obviously वो 3 बजे से बैठ गया था वहाँ पे, and he had done the entire setup and all with one more guy. We literally had no crew when we were doing this, and we just had the drone guy around. And Neena ji was there, and because he was just worried कि light चली जाएगी, and sunlight. I mean, these sound very tactical at that time, very कि क्या यार कल आ जाएंगे दोबारा. But the way that light came in that day, I think it was just breathtaking. And it just stayed there. It stayed there for the whole shoot because sun aata hai and then, kind of it moves a little. It just stayed there for the shoot. So we were like, ye sab Ganga Maiya ki. We were all doing Ganga Maiya that time.
So we've got Preeti here, who's a native of Banaras. So Preeti, tell us, how did you like seeing, and did it really capture the city?
Yeah, so first of all, thank you, Sukirti, because I was not aware about कि Amazon पे आ गया है last filler. और सुकीर्ति ने मुझे मैसेज किया, देन आई सेड कि अभी मैं तुरंत इस मूवी को देखती हूँ, एंड आई वॉच्ड द मूवी बिकॉज आई वाज सो एक्साइटेड फ्रॉम लाइक जब से ये शूट वूट हुआ, आई वाज फॉलोइंग इन इंस्टाग्राम, सो आई वाज लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू वॉच द मूवी. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यस, मैं बनारस की हूँ, तो पूरा जो बनारस का फ्लेवर है ना, वो बहुत ही खूबसूरती से उसमें दिखाया गया है. इनफैक्ट आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट छोटी, आई वाज थिंकिंग कि छोटी बनारस की ही है, क्योंकि वो जिस तरीके से बात कर रही थी, उसका जो एक्सेंट था और जो उसका एक बरबोला था कि सीधा मुंह पे बोल देती है, दिस इज ऑल अबाउट बनारस थिंग, कि बनारस में लोग ऐसे ही होते हैं, दे आर सो अडोरेबल. वो प्यार बहुत करते हैं लेकिन मुंह पे ऐसे ही बातें करते हैं. इनफैक्ट दैट चाय वाला ऑल्सो,
यस,
अरे भैया ये तो बनारस के बच्चे हैं. तो यू नो छोटी वाज लाइक, मुझे ऐसा लग रहा था कि मैं बनारस के घाट पे ही बैठी हूँ और वहां पे जो बच्चे हैं ना, उनके ही जैसे वो थी. तो इट वाज सो ब्यूटीफुल. ऑल्सो नीना जी ऑफ कोर्स बहुत ही खूबसूरती से उन्होंने सारी चीजों को दर्शाया. और सुकीर्ति, एक पॉइंट मैं बताना चाहती हूँ, जैसे आपने बोला ना कि बहुत सारे स्टोरीज एक साथ उसमें मिले हुए हैं, तो इन दैट कॉन्टेक्स्ट मुझे ऐसा लगा लास्ट कलर में कि जब हमारी लाइफ में भी हम कोई एक इंसिडेंट को लेके बात करते हैं, तो हमारे साथ दूसरे दूसरे लोग भी रिलेटेड रहते हैं और उनकी भी छोटी छोटी स्टोरीज होती है. तो मुझे ऐसा लगा कि ये बहुत ही खूबसूरती से उन्होंने इनकैलकुलेट किया और उसको दिखाया, क्योंकि इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट कि एक 1.5 घंटे की मूवी में आप सबका स्टोरी दिखा रहे हो और उसका क्लोजर भी दिखा रहे हो. तो ओवरऑल इट वाज सो ब्यूटीफुल इन दैट वे.
थैंक यू, थैंक यू.
So, Preeti, yeah, it happens with us. We see parallel stories. हम जब अपने फ्रेंड से बात करते हैं या कहीं भी करते हैं, तो हमारे आसपास ये हो रहा होता है, बट हम आँख खोल के नहीं देखते. तो एक शायद 1.5 घंटे की मूवी में हमें सब कुछ दिखा दिया गया that way. So Rama wants to, Rama, where are you?
Yeah, I'm here. I'll just switch on my camera. I hope you can see me now.
No.
Hi. I'm not sure. I'll just switch on the camera.
Let me switch on.
Start my camera. Yeah. Can you see me? Hi, all of you.
Hi.
Yeah, hi.
Fantastic movie. First of all, congratulations. And as everybody else is saying कि आपने 3 plots, I would say actually आपने एक I work in this sector, so I know आपने एक human rights story के अंदर आपने 3 stories present की, rights की, एक rights की, child rights की और women rights की. आपने इतनी beautifully, एक seamlessly आपने एक डाला है स्टोरी में, and that was fantastic. And most importantly, what touched my mind, like you know, my heart was the जो आपने जेंडर ट्रांसजेंडर्स की बात की है, the way रुद्रिनी herself has प्रोडक्ट उन्होंने अपने आप को एनैक्ट किया और बताया कि क्या प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, एंड एक्चुअली ये प्रॉब्लम्स करेक्ट भी, एंड इट वाज अ फैंटास्टिक मूवी. एंड खासकर से मुझे रुद्रिनी छेत्री ने जिस ढंग से अपने आप को पोर्ट्रे किया, जो उनके साथ वास्तविकता में होती है, जो दिखाया गया है ना, वो मुझे बहुत ही अच्छा लगा. एंड आई थिंक ऑल्सो बिकॉज नाउ यू आर सेइंग कि छोटी, आपने यू डिडंट गो फॉर एनी चाइल्ड आर्टिस्ट, बट यू एक्चुअली पिक्ड अप समबडी फ्रॉम द स्कूल्स दैट आई थिंक उसने उसमें जो जान लेके आई है ना, वो परहैप्स आई डोंट नो एनी स्टार कुड हैव डन इट और नॉट.
बहुत ज्यादा
रियलिस्टिक,
बहुत ज्यादा. एंड शी वाज, सी वी वर लुकिंग फॉर समवन फॉर छोटी अगेन, जो यू नो यू वांटेड द रस्टिक बनारस की बच्ची लगनी चाहिए, जो सड़क पे काम करती है, यू नो स्ट्रीट्स पे रहती है. चिंटू अगेन इज द सेम, एंड रुद्रानी, आई मीन वी वर, विकास एंड यू नो व्हेन वी वर just the core team, we were very clear that we will not make a man dress up as a woman or a woman dress up, you know, we wanted the reality. I think that's one thing that we hold very close to our hearts, and I'm hoping we can continue to do that, even as the production house, that we will be always authentic in our stories, that we will always bring the reality, but also bring it in a manner which is not like I remember one thing that I was very clear, that we will not do this like a Slumdog Millionaire, you know, where you're just showing the dirt and the negativity around India. You're showing everything about India. You're showing you know, there are some issues as well, but then you're also closing with hope. You're leaving it with the fact that this is the new India. When Choti becomes a lawyer, that's the new India you're talking about, right?
एक लास्ट क्वेश्चन है उसमें, आपने उसका नाम नूर सक्सेना दिया, तो आई वाज जस्ट थिंकिंग क्या रेखा सक्सेना उसको अडॉप्ट करती है?
जी 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 जी.
लास्ट हुआ क्या, जब उसका नाम नूर सक्सेना हुआ तो मुझे समझ आ गया कि फिर लास्ट में मुझे लगा क्या उसको रेखा सक्सेना,
इंट्रीग
आपने रेखा सक्सेना ऊपर देखती है लास्ट में ना, कि लास्ट में वो जब कलर फेंकती है वो ऊपर देखती है.
Yes. I am so glad you picked it up. I'm so glad you picked it up.
It was a fantastic movie. मतलब मैं हिली नहीं अपनी जगह से. And as I said, since I work in this sector, मुझे तो बहुत ही अच्छा लगा, because I can tell others also to show it on other forums, because काफी forums में movies दिखाए जाते हैं.
जी.
और इस सेक्टर में शायद ये एक बहुत ही powerful movie है. And actually, I've already messaged my friends in the sector कि please watch this movie.
Yes. We need all the help in spreading the word.
Aditi also wanted to say a couple of lines. Aditi, go ahead.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We have Rudrani here, and I want Leher.
Oh, wow.
So welcome, Rudrani. And Leher, where are you? I want to thank you.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi, Rudrani.
Hi.
So
Hi,
Leher,
Rani. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much. How are you?
All good. You're back from your shoot?
Yes, it was morning thing. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. So it's been so nice. I connected with Rudrani on a parenting story that I wanted to do, because I think the transgender community accepts kids whose own biological parents don't. So I think they're the epitome of parenting. So I connected with her on a parenting story, and you're looking so nice, Rudrani. Everyone is saying that you're looking so beautiful. And she's such a nice soul. I mean, even through the phone, you feel so charged after talking to Rudrani. So we have some, do we have any audience questions? Or,
we have a lot of audience. First, we will take audience.
Yes, let's do that. I actually just joined in, so if you can.
Aditi wanted to say 2 lines. So
Yeah, just 2 lines. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Aditi.
Okay. So I heard this point that there seems to be many stories in this, right? But I don't belong to Benares, but I think Benares is a place where many things go on at the same time. So
That's
it was
right.
very much in keeping with that. You cannot have one story in Benares. There are so many facets. And they didn't really seem like stories. They were typifying society in some way, the society that is Benares.
That's true.
That is one thing. And there was no melodrama, even though there was a lot of scope. There was a lot of scope for melodrama, where the father's hitting, he's hitting the wife, but it was just as it is. And the other thing was, of course, about Choti. What I really liked about Choti was that, of course, I also didn't know that she's not she's just been picked up as a natural.
Yes.
That combination in her character, that she's a child and she still likes childish things, but she's also as tough as nails, having been brought up in that kind of atmosphere. That blend was so beautiful that there was no going too much this way or that way, that when she's childish, she's very childish. And when she's acting tough, it's like put on. It was such a natural blend in her. These are the points that really struck me. I just wanted to say.
Thank you. And I think I'm glad you brought about the point about no melodrama. I think that is something that I would give Vikas full credit for that, and Rudrani can jump in here as well, because he was very clear. I don't want these camera ऐसे आ रहा है फिर वैसे आ रहा है, the expressions changing. Just be real, just be natural. And I think that's what has helped us through the film. Whether it's any of the characters, whether it's Choti or it's Anarkali or it's Chintu, or even the villain Raja. I remember his first few shots where, like, he was doing the typical Amrish Puri, being the bad guy, or Gulshan Grover. He actually went into the Gulshan Grover zone, and we had to tell him, no, not happening. You're not doing this. Just remove all your I think that, like I said in the beginning as well, I think that's what helped us, because we were not following a stereotype for a film. We were just.
Answer this question. You were a first-time producer. Why did you pick the first color? I mean, what was it about this as a first project? I mean, which has so many sensitive issues that it's touching. What touched you when you said, this is what I want to produce?
So, actually, I would even call myself a little bit of an accidental producer. I just landed there. And it's because I've been always doing marketing communications. My last role was heading marketing at Apple. I quit in March 2020, just before COVID happened. So, but I think I've always, when I look back at my career, I love telling stories. So, it's been, whether it was a Microsoft that I was working for or a Nokia that I was working for, those were all stories that, when you're doing a TVC, you're making a 30-second TVC, or you're making a 90-second TVC, it is still, you're still telling a story. You're telling stories around products. And so Last Color, I think we started talking about 3 years back, that I read the book, I read the script first with Vikas, and then one thing we realized that this will, as a book, there are certain books that you read them as a book, and you move on and you remember the book, but this, we realized, was a very visual, this needed a visual rendition. And that's how we got started. And it just started like acha karenge, and then started with acha music karte. Literally it was that. And then I realized somewhere, I think from as a producer, I wasn't being the typical film producer. I was just being a marketing GTM planning, go to market planning. Ho rahi hai. Yahan se, this is a 15-day cycle. We need to finish this in 3 weeks. We need to wrap this up in 3 weeks. That's how we were thinking and moving. And I think the reason I also picked this film, and we're doing another film now, I think somewhere I've always wanted to do stuff which has purpose. And that this script always is, they had so many issues around it. There were so many, like the work that today Vikas is doing, even for the Global Fund for Widows, they're doing some extraordinary stuff across the world. And so you'll see again, I hope we can stay true to that all our films, there will be authenticity around it, and there'll be a purpose to the film. So
we have
Neeta
we have so many people want to speak about the movie, so we will take quickly, because
this is wonderful. I want to see the recording. I want to share the recording, Sukriti, with everyone. This is what works for us.
Go ahead, Neeta.
I know.
Yeah, hi everyone. First of all, Poonam, congratulations. You did a good job.
Thank you.
And I'm seeing you so excited, and I'm also feeling so excited about it.
Thank you.
So Rudrani, she was so protective about the, Choti.
That's right.
In the whole movie. So I loved that factor, about her. Yeah, so that was beautiful. And acting wise, everybody, every single person has acted very well. So good job. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I think Padmaja, she wants to speak. Damini, who's next?
Rohini Chauhan
also. I liked the movie. It was really realistic, everything up to the mark. So I want such movies to be
Thank you.
Really very nice. And the girl you are telling about, Choti,
yes,
I appreciate her. She's too.
Thank you so much.
Keep it up.
Thank you.
Tina wants to ask a question. Tina, you can ask that question. Tina?
Yes. Poonam, hello again.
Hi.
So the ending was a bit disturbing, towards the end, actually, not the ending.
Mm-hmm.
When they put Choti in the prison meant for men.
Yes.
And you have that scene where there's a hand covering her mouth.
That's right.
And then they showed, they changed to the next morning.
Yes.
And, I had my heart in my mouth, because I was expecting blood on her frock and, terrible things.
Yeah.
But then you did not really dwell on that, and it just moved on to the next scene. So what is it that you were trying to show? Were you trying to say that these street children actually are used to rape and other things out there, and that they are kind of used to that kind of life? Or was she just not raped and was just abused in the prison there? What is it? Or is it left to the viewer's discretion?
Well, it's not so much left to the viewer's discretion. I think everybody kind of makes their own, they build their own story. And that's what is the beauty about cinema. When you have a character, you build, you kind of either fall in love with the character or you hate the character, right? Or you build your own story around the character. So in this case, I think that is the reality of India. Street children do get abused, and we all know that. I mean, there are a lot of people working with street children. They get abused. They get, and girls get raped. I mean, I get very scared when I see a young girl on the street light. I just keep on looking around कि उसके माँ बाप कहाँ हैं. If there is, and especially I remember once I actually stopped my car in Nehru Place. I parked my car on the side, took this girl away because I knew this girl and she was beautiful. She had light eyes and पता नहीं कहाँ से आई थी, and she couldn't even speak Hindi. So I actually pulled her aside till I found her mother, because I knew, knowing in a place like Delhi, and I can't, we can't, one person, I keep on, when people say कि it's always for me, I think it's one victory after another. So छोटी सी एक को help कर लो,
Right.
हजार के बाद में सोचेंगे. So I
Right.
took her aside, and I looked around for her mother and got her. This was like 10:30, 11 in the night, but that's the reality. And I was just very scared of her that day कि इसके साथ कुछ भी हो सकता था. And that's what happens in most parts of the country. So there are places where a lot of NGOs are working with them. So in this case, we showed some parts of it, which was reality. I mean, she does get, what we said in, if you read the book as well, she does get raped, but we didn't want to dwell too much. There'll be another parallel story that is happening, because her job at that time is, she's found out Noor
Right.
is not there anymore. So she's wanting to fulfill her promise. So we didn't want to take another off track and get into the, and there is no help for her. If you think about the prison, there is no help for her. That cop who helps her is the only guy who can help her, and she escapes. No one else can help her. So that is, we tried to show that, but without going into the typically showing how the scenes that we would provide.
Now there's a question for Rudrani, and Rohini wants to ask a question, and I want Leher to take it to Rudrani. So can we get Rohini here?
Rohini, do you want to unmute
Rudrani,
and ask?
I have to say this, Rudrani, you're looking beautiful. I just saw your full screen. You are looking beautiful. I just have to say that before you open up.
Her role and her acting was wonderful, wonderful, not to be believed.
Rohini, do you want to ask a question yourself?
Yeah, I'd love to be a part of this conversation. So first of all, hearing Poonam has been is giving me goosebumps, and the excitement that is coming from within you is something one would expect, from somebody who's made such a powerful movie. I mean, I've been waiting for it for months. So, thank you, Poonam, for being a part of this movie. It's a movie I think everybody should watch. And like I commented in the comment section, every character is so powerful. The role, of every character is so powerful that you feel involved, like as if you're involved in everybody's life, whether the person has come in for 5 minutes or the person is playing a major character in the movie. And what I really liked about the fact was that all the characters were very authentic. For example, if you take the case of Rudrani, who was playing Anarkali, I so loved the fact that you chose to take a trans woman and who played the role of a trans woman, because you generally see people from in other movies who do not take them, they make somebody else dress up. And the power and the natural essence of the character comes out only when you take a person who can really understand the emotions, right? So Rudrani, I think she's such a powerful character in the movie. And her acting is so beautiful, it's so natural, it comes across. And then and then you start thinking about and contemplating other movies where they've taken different characters. So I think this was a wonderful initiative that you took, and Vikas made it. It was like his thing that no, we have to have trans woman playing the role of this. So I truly appreciate this. And I had a question for Rudrani, that how, what were your feelings, when you were playing this role of Anarkali in the movie, and generally, in general, what did you feel about the role? And if she can talk a little bit about that.
Um, okay. Thank you, Shalini, for the question. And thank you, everyone, for having me. And I hope I'll just try to speak. I mean, say what I feel as an actor, as part of this film is something. I think there was a trust. There was a trust. Vikas knew what he was looking for, and Vikas were very sure that what he wanted. And my experience of playing this character as a Narkali, I was able to see it through Vikas every time when he used to meet me. And for what I was there for 7 days in Banaras, and I was not Rudrani for him. I was his Anarkali. He used to say whenever I used to, land up, because there was no changing thing available. So I used to get up in the hotel and take a cab and come to the spot. And for him, he interacted with somebody who was Anarkali, his Anarkali, and I stayed there, and I was living this character because it was so beautifully explained. And the best part is it was not only Vikas Khanna but the team. I think he worked it so well with the team that everybody was so accepting. When most of the time you do bad and you screw up and you really don't give your 100% when the environment is very hostile and not accepting. But the entire team was so accepting, and after 15 minutes of meeting everyone, it was like I was one of them. They never treated me differently. So I think it was entire package which makes a person's work easier. And acceptance is not for should not be took for the sake of just showing it, but it comes so natural and real. And this film was there because every issue which is touched in this film is it's so human. It is so, when you read the script and you read the dialogues and you feel it. It's like you have gone through it, or you've heard it from someone. So it who wrote the dialogues and who wrote other things. I think everything was so real for me. So it was much easier to be Anarkali, because I keep hearing all of these things. And also maybe at times I have lived it. So yeah. But
So, Rudrani, I have a follow-up question to that. You're also a transgender activist. So your
mhm.
views on how the portrayal was in the movie and how it showed the community and how generally the transgenders are shown in Indian cinema. Do you want to comment on that also?
Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, I think, so far, how I see, I know a real transgender person, or I know myself, and what I used to, get to see, it was kind of a caricature of a human being. Maybe even if they wanted to have this person as some kind of, you know, gag 5 minutes, or a joke or whatever, but it's always so disrespecting. It's not real. The best part is it's not only the compliments and the appreciation is from the journal community, but it's from my real community. And when they say, somebody like me who calls me, who texts me, like, thank God, now finally it is something which is for real, and people are seeing a real in representation, or real person acting, or something is real about it. It is not fun. It's not which may put me in shame tomorrow after seeing, because most of the time either it is very ghosty, very, ugly, very evil. So they've never shown the good part of a transgender. Either it has to do with a lot of, sexual things or those kind of lines. I do understand that how, entertainment industry works. Sometimes to sell things, people do it, but you cannot, make one entire gender evil all the time. And the best part is when we say that, we have been seeing men dressing up, in saris and doing our roles and character. I feel really bad. And at the same time, only those people say we are very inclusive, industry, and we are very inclusive people, and we give opportunity to everyone. I don't see, that happening. But thank God somebody has, you know, started this. I'm so, thankful to Vikas that he trusted a transgender person that she can act, and she can be a value to this film. And thank you, Poonam, for having me. I mean, it is, a trust which makes my work easier, and my confidence level that I'll be able to do justice to it. So yes.
Right. But Rudrani, that's so true, but I want to ask, why do you think that is? I mean, you're one of the most genuine person I've ever seen or ever talked to. So why do you think that representation is not there? Why do you think the entertainment industry, which portrays all the facets of our life, why do you think it is missing this huge facet?
So what entertainment channel, industry they have been doing to transgender communities and LGBT community is they've always, even if they have used them, they've used in, them in a comic way.
As a joke, yeah.
Or even if they want to, show some kind of a serious thing, it'll be a documentary where there will be a lot of pain and, those other stuff. But how how you can, how you can show a real person's life, and being genuine to it, and not only with your own idea. I think that is a problem. And there is also kind of a fear. I think I remember one of the person from this set, and she was having, within 15 minutes or so, she said one thing that I was thinking there is a transgender person coming, and how do I work with her? It's my first time. And after 15 minutes, she was like, "Oh, yaar, bada maja aane wala hai tumhare sath." So, you get that feeling. But most of the time, people are not accepting. I remember after starting my modeling agency, I called a few of the, warehouse and this fashion people. They said it's a very good idea, but I don't think my, audience, my customers are ready for it. So you have this preconceived notions, and you have your own prejudice and idea about,
You think it's the
and
extrapolation of the non-acceptance in the society because of that the in the
I
industry
think, I
also?
think there can be a misconception that it is difficult to work with them. Maybe that can be one thing they have, or they feel intimidated by the community, transgender community. That can be another thing, or they think they are not professional and committed to something. So there can be a lot many other reasons for it. And also one of the thing, when they say, you know them and us,
Mm-hmm.
it is it,
It's
it is a- it creates a problem.
crazy.
And I think film like, The Last Color is answer to lot of those people who believe that, industry belongs to them, and they can just serve whatever they want to serve. I think a film like, Vikas Khanna's Last Color is answer to everyone. This 2021, everyone should be watching, because recently it is, there. But it is answer to everyone. You don't have to argue with, such people and make them explain. You just show them the film. Look at this film. This is our answer to whatever you have been saying for so long.
That's
So,
true.
yeah.
Your role in the movie was so significant. How did you, how were you cast? What were your briefs? Do you want to share your journey about the work?
Oh, I do have we do have a common friend who's also part of this film. His name is Neeraj Tiwari. So he is a media person and he interviewed me a few years ago. And I think this guy is everyone, Vikas, Anuj,
Yes.
Neeraj, and everyone was looking for an Anarkali. They had met, thousands of thousand people in
Lots of
Banaras, Delhi, and
lots.
all over place. And Neeraj calls me one day and he says like, okay, there is one thing, Vikas Khanna. I said, no, of course everyone knows Vikas Khanna. So he says, please come down to our office, and there is this small role which I want a transgender person should be doing. So I picked up two people from my office. I said, like, you should get chance, and I was there with both of them. uh, they did audition, and we were about to leave, and Neeraj said like, wait, you also have to do audition. I said, no, 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 I'm not, I'm so busy, I have,
Oh, you went for someone else.
yeah, I took
Oh.
two of my friends, Paroji and Neetu. Two of them,
Uh-huh.
they auditioned. They must be having this audition tape. But Neeraj, Anuj, and everyone so insisted that please do it for our sake. So
Thank
we
God.
want, we trust
Yes.
you. So I said, see, I'm doing it, but I'm not going to, even if you like me, I'm not going to do it. And
I remember that.
and then they showed it to Vikas, and Vikas said that I know whatever you do, you bring her
Right.
in
I know.
this.
So what made you say yes finally?
I mean, Vikas is such a nice person. Nobody can say no to him. He is like, I call him brother and auntie. I also spend a lot of time with Bindu auntie, and it was so much fun. Either like, we shared stories and we were laughing and doing stuff. So person like Vikas, who is so genuine, because I what kind of profession I do, I work with human rights. I work with a lot of people whom I deal with, talking to them. I cry with them. Share their, joys and sorrows. When I meet people, I know who you are. This person was so true, and he wanted this film to do so desperately with, such honesty and such dedication. You of course, when we shooted, it was, June, July of those months in summer in
Crazy.
Banaras. Everybody in Vikas was like, oh, no, 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 chhatri rakho inke upar, inko thanda karo. He was so nice and everything. So I I don't know. He have this thing that you cannot say no to him. He's such a nice person, and I feel so honored, and it was such a pleasure working with him. I hope I get to that do that again, but let's see what future holds. So yeah.
Mita, you have a question, Mita?
So yeah, Rudrani, I want to ask you if through this movie, that one message or messages you want to send to audience, what would it be?
I think there is a message. There are a lot of message. There are message around women issues. There are messages for child safety and protection. But one thing which you know, and there are also been talking about stray dogs and everything. But
Rudrani is
one,
a dog lover. She's an avid dog lover.
I guess I think they're my family. So um I mean, it cannot be one message. It cannot be one message, because in every one single scene, there is, so much to learn, so much to feel, and so much. Even if somebody is from the privileged, sector is watching that, they go through, the pain. Maybe if this, like, one woman harassing another woman by, saying her superior, and, making Neena Gupta Jr. the person she shares room with. So there are a lot of elements where you can learn so much, and you can attempt not doing that mistakes and be a nice person. This film teaches you so much. But one thing good about that this film is, as a filmmaker and as audience, I think both are ready for it. It is just few couple of people, they have their own, prejudice and ideas, and whatnot they're thinking. But I think this is the answer to my all the audience, and audience of Last Color, who have really loved it. I'm getting so many DM messages, and so And these are the general people. They are not from trans community, and they are so loving it, and they're so respecting it, and they're so wanting me to see again. I think this answer and my message and love is that thank you for accepting. I mean, you have made, mouth shut of those people who've been saying that we cannot do it. Thank you for giving this space in your heart and in the industry.
So, Poonam, our admiration to you and to Vikas has gone multifolds by listening to it also today, because sometimes you just watch the movie and you appreciate it. You know that, okay, it has covered a lot of social issues. It's beautifully made movie. And like I feel, oh my God, you have given a young girl, brought out a young talent. You have brought Rudrani out. It gives a lot of empowerment to a community where you feel that I can do it. So
Yes.
it is that like we get emotional listening to it. And but one question that I want to ask, that in India we don't appreciate good movies. Like it is very, very, very sad. A Vikas, who has made it for the first time with lot of passion, lot of effort. Did it for the first time. So whatever the industry, what people talk about, okay, this is a mafia. I'm not getting into it. But do you really feel that in India we don't do justice to good movies?
I think we've kind of got used to Bollywood has kind of stereotyped itself. I am a big Bollywood fan. I've grown up on Bollywood movies. And some. I mean, I have a bunch of friends. We thrive on just the Bollywood dialogues, but it's also when you get into Bollywood, there is of course, because like if I think about our movie, this is typically for the new audience that's coming up, with the OTT coming in. There is a lot more receptiveness to content, which is, and to real stories, and not to watch, maybe a lot of regressive stuff that comes up as well. So I think this is the change is beginning to happen. The coming of age of a lot of, and I think because of OTT, there are a lot of platforms that are now available for people to have good talent, and you don't have to be like, there is no concept of a golden jubilee and silver jubilee anymore, right? So there is, Indian cinema itself is changing, and I think there's a lot of receptiveness to that change. So even for our next film, we are not that might get a theatrical release again, because again, that movie is all about resilience. It's just pure resilience. And that's something, again, that's the new India that we're talking about. And when I was talking to someone the other day, I said 5 years or even 6 years back, if someone had told me that I'll be making a film with no hero in it, I wouldn't, like, what are you talking about? And the protagonist is a 65-year-old woman. Like, when does that happen? So I think we need to give that also, that there is space, there is audience for that. Yes, there are, like I said, I was in the beginning when some of you were joining as well. Our movie is literally running on word of mouth. There is just nothing else that we are doing. We're not doing, you don't see it on TV, you don't see ads coming everywhere, showing up everywhere. It's just purely running on emotions and people's emotions. So we're very happy with that. We're actually, it sounds cliched, but grateful, very, very grateful.
It's not cliched. Richa, quickly to you. I know we have too many people and short of time. Sorry to take so much time. To you.
Okay. Hi.
You can mute. Yeah. You can mute, Richa. Yeah. Richa, you unmute yourself. Yeah.
Now I'm audible?
Yes.
Yeah. First of all, thank you so much, Sipping Thought, to give this opportunity to talk to them and to listen what was there behind the scenes things and the whole idea about this movie. Thank you so much. Poonam ji, Rudrani ji, you guys have created something really amazing. Thank you so much for that. I have only two things to say. There was one scene where Raja was like, the Raja's wife came after that पूजा करके जब वो वापस आती हैं and she sits by him and वो उसको चुप कराने के लिए उसके ऊपर पैर रख देता है, पैर के ऊपर पैर रखता है.
That's right.
That scene literally said so many things. Even वो चीज शुरुआत होने से पहले ही काफी चीज दिखा दी गई सिर्फ उस पैर को पैर पे रखने से कि कैसे दबाया जाता है. I really noticed that. Second thing, Choti fulfilled her promise in the end. उसने finally जाके उन पे वो color डाला. That scene was so touching. I can't tell you. मतलब it was something कि पूरी जो आपने जर्नी दिखाई है वो उस पॉइंट पे आके शायद वो फुलफिल हो गई कि हाँ ये चीजें बहुत मायने रखती हैं. I have one question. Last में the kid जब वो पुलिस ऑफिसर बन जाता है और जब वो छोटी को देखता है, उसने बताया क्यों नहीं कि I'm that boy. हुआ क्यों नहीं कॉन्वर्सेशन?
वो एंड में वो डायलॉग जो है ना, he comes in again. So we tried to leave a little bit of intrigue there. And we had lots of debates on this. Should we should we just say, "Hey, Chintu, mil gaya," like that.
Something. Guy was good looking, so I had that clue कि ये कुछ important बंदा है.
So I think we left it. पहले तो उतना भी सीन नहीं था उसका. पहले वो सिर्फ उसको देखता है. Then we increase the length of the scene to see वो that eye connect उनका होता है. But towards the end, he comes and says, no, when he says कि वो the Ravindra dialogue, he's the one who says that.
Yeah.
So we kind of left it a little bit of deliberately.
कुछ अनकही बातें रह गई.
हर चीज अगर आप making it very idiot proof and say, they would have said, looked at each other and said, oh yeah, I think he's the same guy. Which typically Bollywood lover, I would have loved it. And we had lots of debates on that. Make it a little more obvious, a little more obvious. But we left it with the intrigue part. So
yeah, coming soon, coming next के लिए भी कुछ होना चाहिए.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure, आपकी movie देखना.
Thank you so much.
I think a last question for both of you. I mean, now that we are seeing that, of course, it's been nominated for so many awards, it's on the list. How does that make both of you feel, and what are you guys thinking?
Actually, we've just been running with the film. We actually haven't even got a chance. There's another important person who's Jitendra. He's the only one who came with a little bit of a film background. I mean, a lot of film background, but again, very offbeat films. So we actually were talking the other day, we haven't had a chance to get, obviously Vikas is in New York at the moment, but it's just been so much, it's been a hard journey for us, very hard, because, we were new to the space and, we went the whole festival route first. And then the last spot was Mami. We had a premiere at Mami last year, 2019 actually. So 2020 though literally got washed off. But I think there were lots of those learnings for us. But I think we've just been running from one thing to another. It just makes us all feel very, very, very gratified. Whatever we did, it's connected with people. And have all of you tell us these stories. I mean, that's why I'm saying I want the recording, because I want Vikas to hear this, that people are noticing the nuances. People have noticed that Noor Saxena kaise ban gayi. This is what you will live on. That's what typically a filmmaker would, be living on. So I think it's just, we all feel very blessed that it's been received the right way.
We are blessed to have been able to watch it also. Rudrani would love to hear from you also on this.
So, I mean, so many awards and, I mean, so much of, I mean, I don't know whether, I mean, though there's so it has gone all over the world and, there is so many awards, but the kind of love and the kind of emotion in, in paras and centers, in sentences, in lines, which are, we are getting, I think this is the biggest award for us. And I mean, when somebody says your film is really, touched my heart, I think that everyone's emotion is a big award, which goes to Vikas, which goes to Poonam, which goes to Jitendra, and which goes to each and every one of you. Absolutely. I mean, accepting a film and loving it and, feeling it and having an emotion about it. And as an actor, as in somebody artist, and when somebody says it to you, you feel it. I think it's the biggest award. I'm kind of a very emotional person, but I think this means a lot for me. Yeah.
Absolutely. I completely echo what Rudrani says.
So I think it is the product of done from heart and spoken from heart and received from heart. So
That's true.
uh,
That's true.
whatever you
It's
do
got
from
a lot of
heart.
heart in it. It's got full heart in it. That's for sure. That's for sure. That.
So time is always short, and on that note, we have to say goodbyes till next, and we are hoping that you come up with a movie very, very soon. And you have
Yes.
set the expectations very high for us.
Thank you.
So
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I mean, this is just so heartwarming to hear everyone talk about the film. This is the reward. This is exactly what this is what makes us thrive and want us to do, wants us to do the next thing or whatever else we end up doing. But thank you so much. Just help us spread the word, spread it in your. I was telling Vikas yesterday, I think our movie is running on WhatsApp groups. I have friends circulating. I put it in this group, I put it in that group. So thank you, Erin. Thank you so much. And thank you, Meeta and Sukriti, for having me over. Thank you so much.
you.
Thank you, everyone, for having us and having me and listening to me. And it's very overwhelming.
Thank you,
God bless
Rudrani, for
everyone.
coming at
Yeah.
such short notice. And you were so busy today. Thank you for taking out your time, in fact.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. See you till next time.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.